Hi, everybody.
Hello, I'm Ryan.
I'm Bethany.
And we are Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews.
And today we have a discussion for you.
That's right.
A lovely discussion. Ryan recently went to and came home from GAMA. And you might be wondering, what is GAMA?
Well, it's funny that you ask that because GAMA is an organization. So the GAMA is the Game Manufacturers Association. But the GAMA Expo is the actual event that GAMA hosts every year as kind of a get-together for board game professionals.
Yeah.
So initially this was all about getting publishers together with distributors and retailers. They get together and decide kind of what their orders were going to look like throughout the year.
Yeah.
Publisher got a chance to tell all these different distributors and retailers and say, hey, here's the games we have come up down the pipeline, so they can get interested about it and place some orders and stock their shelves.
Yeah, so dig into that a little bit more. How is GAMA Expo different from any other gaming convention?
It is wildly different, right? I'd never been to the GAMA Expo before, so I was under the impression that, hey, it's going to be a convention, right? I had a little bit of knowledge that it wasn't quite going to be that, but I didn't know exactly what that meant. Well, first of all, in the mornings, again, this is all about board game professionals, right? So we're talking about designers, we're talking about publishers, retailers, distributors, creators, like artists and media people, and they're going to get together in the mornings and do seminars, learning about all these different facets within the industry. So maybe how to make your board game store more effective at displays, or maybe you have a seminar about what a board game looks like all the way from designing and prototyping all the way to getting published and put on the shelves at the store, like every single little step in between. Or maybe there's something about connecting media together, or maybe there's something about how to do better lighting, or whatever it is. There's all kinds of different random seminars that you can take in the mornings to learn more about your own part of the industry as well as the parts of the industry around you. And then after that, it's lots and lots of networking. You get a chance to talk to so many different board game professionals. Especially as media, we were able to talk to a lot of publishers and designers and just say, hey, what games do you have coming up soon? I'd love to hear more about them so we can kind of have a little bit of a knowledge of what's going to be coming down in the future. And we want to hear about all those little things. And it's just so interesting to hear about so many different, the direction that certain companies are headed and the trends that we're seeing in the industry. It was marvelous to see all that. And then also at the same time, in the evenings, sometimes publishers or distributors would host game nights. So then you get a chance to be playing games, learning about all these games, and actually get a chance to sit down and play them. And it's not just like you're playing them with like your buddies or whatever. You are kind of digging into the game, a little bit more seriously, and seeing if it's a good fit for a retailer to stock on their shelves or whatever the case is. And so as a media person, I'm sitting across the table from maybe like a designer. Maybe I'm getting a chance to talk to a publisher, and next to me is a retailer, a game store owner, or something like that. So it's just a very bizarre interactions, but I just love that kind of thing. All that networking was just so cool and so important.
Okay, so I'm hearing that a lot of what this is people behind the scenes, people that are behind the scenes in the gaming world who are, owning stores or wanting to sell their wares. All that sounds really interesting. I am very curious to see how media plays a role in something like GAMA.
Well, initially it wasn't actually. Initially it was just the distributors and the publishers and the retailers kind of getting together and placing orders and figuring out their product line and all that kinds of stuff, like I mentioned a little earlier. But they decided to add in some new categories, things like the designers, the creators of the games themselves, along with the artists and graphic designers, things like that. And then also the media and events. So all the different people who run board gaming events and people who talk about and have a platform for talking about media. So they kind of wanted to have this be like the central kind of, for lack of a better terminology, like the governing body within board gaming, right? One place where all the professionals can get together and have a higher level of expectations, a higher level of communication amongst each other.
Yeah.
And so the way media kind of fits into all that is we are the ones that get to bring that knowledge to the public. So we now know how all this works from the insider standpoint a little bit better, and we get to know what games are coming out, and we get to be the ones who kind of spread that word to our viewers and to all of them, the people out there watching. So that's kind of how the media plays a role. They get to kind of be the mouthpieces for all these different things. So you have at the base level, you have people creating the games. Then you have people publishing those games. These distributors then take those games and distribute them all out to these retailers. The retailers sell the games. But how do people know what games are out there, which ones are going to be a good fit for them and their gaming group? And that's where the media fits in. They get to say, hey, you know what? Here's your local game store. It's close to you, and you should go check it out. On top of that, here's some great games that I know they stock, and those are going to be good fits for your gaming group because they play well, those player counts, and whatever the case is. So media plays a big role in getting the word out.
So if you're just like a consumer of board games, so this isn't really for you.
No.
However, they do put on a convention.
Correct. Yeah, board gaming conventions as a whole are much more consumer facing, right?
Yeah.
And so they get a chance to, a person off the streets can walk in, buy a ticket, and then go buy games from these different booths and things like that. At GAMA specifically, this is going to be, you have to be a GAMA member, you have to have, be within one of those professional groups, and you need to, and then have, only retailers buy. Your retailers are buying directly from these publishers and these distributors.
Yeah, because there's not like 20 copies of a certain game. There's one game, and it's laid out so people can see if it's something that they want.
And then they order pallets of them or whatever the case is.
Yeah.
So going back to the consumer conventions, what most of us would call a board game convention, GAMA actually also runs another one of those events, which would be Origins, which I had a chance to go to my first Origins last year. Extremely well-run event because I think it is that higher level of professionalism, right? Yeah. Everyone knows a little bit more about how to take care of everyone in the best way possible. But this time around, it has a focus on on regular board gamers. So you get a chance to go to a convention. There's a big library to play. You get a chance to talk to publishers, buy board games, and have a great time playing with your friends.
Okay, but Ryan, did you have fun?
I had an amazing time. It was a little tough just because of the time zone change, right? I'm very slow on the uptake on all that kind of stuff. But also, you have seminars early in the morning, and I'm just an early riser anyways.
Yes, you are. It's true. It's very
true.
True.
You have these board game nights, which are just a blast. Like the first time you have a really chance to play games this whole time is during the game nights. So you don't want to miss out on that, right? So you're going to stay at the game nights all night too. And then you have very little sleep, and you're so excited anyways, it's hard to fall asleep. And then guess what? You do it all again the next morning, and the next day, and the next day. So, man, there is just the best thing about the GAMA Expo is getting a chance to talk to people, network with people.
Yeah.
This is just unbelievable. There's no currency that you can put on that, right? It's just so much fun to talk to all these board gamers and board game people who know on the inside stuff, and you get to find out such really cool information that you wouldn't have known otherwise. Hey, I've got this deluxe edition of this game coming out, and you don't tell anybody.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, I want to tell people or whatever. And so it's so much fun. I think I brought something like 200 business cards, and by just exchanging it with all these people that we came in contact with, I came home with like 2 or 3 or a very, very, very small stack, just because there's just so much interaction. It was fantastic.
You had said earlier, like when I picked you up from the airport, when we were talking about it, you said that everybody's there to conduct business, but our business is fun.
Yeah, that's right. I've been to other trade shows for other industries.
Yes.
And it's all about, well, we need to place this order, and don't make sure it doesn't go on back order, and it's all business conducting, right? And then that's it. But the same exact business got conducted, right? People placed their orders, they did the things they needed to do. But the business that we're in board games is play. You're playing. It's fun. Everyone just has a very professional mannerism to them, but underneath it all, they're also they're a kid at heart. They want to play. They want to enjoy.
And they want everybody to succeed as well. It's not like you're trying to outdo another company. It's like...
Right. Yeah. Board games are so niche, right, that I think everyone is happy when board games as a whole succeed.
Yeah.
There's an Eric Lang quote about that talks about, who's your biggest competitor within the industry, and obviously kind of misquoted. I'm going to paraphrase it, but more or less is our enemy to board gaming is not another company, but it's, when someone chooses not to play board game, or they choose a video game, or they choose solidarity, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Or not solidarity, being solitaire, being alone. Yeah. So if you get a chance to play a game, no matter whose company makes that game, board gaming has done well. Board gaming has won that interaction. And that's exactly what's happening here. Is obviously you want your company to do well. You need your company to make profits so you can be in business and continue to do this for your living and all that kind of stuff. But it's just so much fun to see publishers talk about other publishers' games and be like, "Oh, hey, I played that game that you guys put out, and you know what? It was a blast. Great job, you guys." You know, and that's just the kind of thing that I heard like this whole time. And same thing with media people. I'm talking to other media people. They're like, "Oh, I watched that video that you did about that one thing. Oh, it's great. Thanks so much for putting that out." That's what this industry is all about. It's about having fun. It's about obviously being professional and doing the things you need to do to make your job happen. But it's also about making board gaming just succeed.
And you saw that at GAMA Expo in real time.
Exactly. It's just so cool to see that.
Everybody, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe so you can see our videos as they come out, especially as we do more topical videos throughout the year.
Yeah, 100%. If you want to hear more about that, let us know. And if you are someone who's in the gaming industry who wants a chance to have that, I would definitely recommend joining GAMA. Obviously, if you're just a consumer of board games, a player of board games, this isn't for you. Yeah. Hopefully it was fun hearing about all this kind of stuff. But at the same time, this isn't for you unless you become, start a company. And by all means, join GAMA. You're going to get a lot out of it.
And also, the next video we do like this where we're talking about things, it will be something that I would have gone to. I'll be able to say stuff.
That's right.
Everybody, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.